In the evening, Suns' big three win over Atlanta, 123-115. KD had 23 and 7. Beal with 25 points again led the team. Booker with 20, 12 assists. Trae Young had 21 points and 7 assists. And the big three was there. The scoring trio, though, also many assists coming out of the three of them. They combined for 68 points, 21 assists. I mean, we're just talking about how games change and things you try to tweak and make better. What do you think about these numbers for this three?
I thought it was a great night. It's confusing to me. I would love to see some consistency, right?
Yeah.
You'd love to see some consistency because you have games like this where you get excited about the Phoenix Suns and then they'll give you a dud and then you're right back to the drawing board. You know, Bradley Beal had another great night, led the team in scoring. But again, what are we going to get on a consistent daily basis from this Phoenix Suns team? Are they going to be a high and by team, or are they really going to put pressure on some of these rankings and put themselves in a position to be a playoff team and probably be wedding crashers? You know, if they can get in and sneak in at a 7 or 8 seed and put some pressure on these young teams that we keep talking about, the Houston Rockets of the world, the OKCs, that's what makes it interesting, but they don't play consistent enough for me to feel like
that would be such a combustible matchup if they snuck in at the end and then you had to face them as one of those young teams.
Absolutely.
That would suck, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Not for us. We'll enjoy it. But, yeah, that would just be a little bit daunting. By the way, Booker, 50 assists in his last 5 games, so that's something that's happening. Do you like the idea of him as like a point forward?
Well, they flirted with that idea last year, and it didn't work out. Let's see what happens now. You know, sometimes when you have a different identity, even when you're playing point guard, but you have somebody else on the floor that can make plays, that can facilitate, still having Tyus Jones there to be able to do that for you. But Devin Booker having the ball in his hands, being able to be aggressive, he's going to get better and better at it. But is this something that they can give us a steady diet of? It remains to be seen. But so far, so good. I don't mind it. 50 assists over the last 5 games for Devin Booker. I would prefer this number to be down. I would prefer him to be the guy we're putting the ball in his hands to go out and be aggressive and score the basketball and put points on the board, but this is impactful as well.
I mean, I guess if it works, it works. Just whatever works, do that. Kevin Durant, 20 or more points in 24 of the 26 games this season. He is averaging 27 a game. He's 36 years old. And look, I think for some, when they look back on KD, he is the most lethal pure scorer that the game's ever seen. Should more people be looking at him that way?
I thought that was put to bed already.
I feel like some people still, I don't know why. You know what I think happens, Lou? Sometimes people have an opinion on KD the person.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. Like people mock the burner accounts. I never did. I thought it was amazing. And now he just does it outright, which is even cooler. But for some reason that bothered people, and they stopped looking at how great he was as a ball player.
Because we're lazy. we're lazy fans. You know, respect greatness. Kevin Durant is going to go down as one of the top tier scorers that we've ever seen at his size. The things that he's been able to do. He has some of the coolest nicknames in the world, and that's because of the way that he can score the basketball. He's an easy money sniper. He's a slim reaper. He's all of these things, and you can't stop him. He's unstoppable at 7 feet. Look at him. He can put the ball on the floor. One of the best shooters we've seen, and he's gotten to the point where in his career, he's comfortable with where he is as a player. And so that gives him the right to go back and forth with people on X and do these things because he's comfortable in his skin. He knows who he is. We had a moment where we played him when he was in Golden State, and he told the reporters, you know who I am, right? I'm Kevin Durant. I can go out and score 50 points a game if I want to, but I'm trying to play the right way. And we look back as a team, it's like that was a bold prediction to make and something to say out loud. And sure enough, the very next game, he went out and had 50 points. And Pat Beverly and I, we had to laugh in the press conference because that's a testament to his greatness. That's who he is. That's who he always be. He's by far one of the easiest scorers in the game to go out and put points out.
It's so pretty. Like when I shot a basketball, it was so pretty like that. I would just walk around doing the form.
It's art. People gave Kyrie Irving a hard time because he said basketball players and athletes are artists. This is an art form. This is something that you go out, you work on, and you do it to the point where you make it look easy. That qualifies as that being an art form. And so he's one of the best artists that we've seen in the history of the game, and he's still building on that legacy.
Where is he on the list of dudes to defend as far as difficulty, do we think?
He's up there. He's up there.
Like how do you do it?
Yeah, you got to put him up there with the Shaqs of the world, with the Kobes, with the LeBrons, with the MJs, all of these guys that have had signature moves or just put you in a position where no matter what defenses that you throw at them, they're going to make it a tough night. They're going to make it difficult for you to game plan against them, and they're just going to go out. Like I used to say all the time when I was in my run, listen, I got 20 points waking up. Everything I get after that is going to be a cherry on top. Kevin Durant is one of those guys where he's going to feel like that with 25, 30 points. Every morning Kevin Durant wakes up, I got 25 points on the board already. Anything that I get past that, that's a cherry on top.
Does playing against Kevin Durant the first time stand out like it does, like people that played against KG for the first time? That seems to be a memory for everyone.
Absolutely. My first time for sure. We played, our first time I played against Kevin Durant was in high school.
Oh, wow.
So I played at a regular public school. He was at Oak Hill, and you know, we had only experienced local teams in our neighborhood that we were playing. Our last year, we were a national ranked team. We played in a national schedule. We played Oak Hill out in North Carolina, and I remember Kevin Durant being the center on that team.
Oh, wow.
And in 2003, 2004, you weren't accustomed to guys that tall shooting the basketball. Kevin Durant made the first three-pointers of the game, and I vividly remember walking back to the huddle. My coach called a timeout, and I thought, dang, that's what this Oak Hill is about.
Yeah.
Because your center was shooting three-pointers and making them, and that was my first experience of seeing Kevin Durant play basketball. We won that game, by the way.
Nice.
I would go on record and say that we did win that game, but that was my first impression of Kevin Durant, and look what it's turned into be.
How tall was he?
He was about 6'8", 6'9".
So he was good. Okay.
He was still there. He was already the Slim Reaper.
Not quite the 7 feet, but still.
He was still there.
That's the first 3 threes. Yeah, that sounds about right. Love talking about Trae Young here because it's been fun to sort of watch the evolution of Trae Young. He's averaging 12 assists a game. It's been 30 years since somebody